What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, I'll be the first to admit it's crazy that we're already talking about the X-Men reboot film that we know is coming after Avengers Secret Wars, because Avengers Secret Wars is still at best 3 years away. Still, it's been at the front of headlines and starting at the end of last year when Deadline revealed that at the beginning of this year in 2024, Marvel Studios would start the job of meeting with writers for them to pitch their ideas for the script, and then confirmed some short 2 months ago on May 21st that Michael Leslie, the guy who wrote The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, was actually in negotiations to pen the film. Well, today we got an enormous update and an inside look at what that pitch from Michael Leslie may have looked like regarding one specific element for the film, and that's none other than the team roster. And it may surprise, or should I say not surprise, some of you which X-Men lineup apparently was pitched. We're going to talk about it, which characters would be involved. We're also going to go over why you shouldn't put too much stock into this because of how early this is in the scripting process, and if given Marvel's track record of late continues into the future, we should call Michael Leslie the first of many writers on the upcoming X-Men film. Still, we're going to break down this latest update about the team roster and which characters we might expect to see in the first iteration of the X-Men in the MCU. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner for Deadpool and Wolverine's release next month. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so we're going to start with the latest update coming from literally an hour ago and from Daniel RPK. You guys can follow him over on Twitter at RPK News. And for those of you who are new to the channel or the Marvel Scoop game, he is the most trusted of sources when it comes to Marvel scoops, so much so that the big Hollywood trades like Hollywood Reporter and Deadline sometimes re-report off him, and he broke some news about the new X-Men movie. He blasted out on his Patreon late this afternoon that, quote, he hears that the pitch for X-Men included the quote-unquote X-Men 97 roster, including Jubilee. And if there are still one or two of you out there watching channels like mine who haven't seen X-Men 97, that would be an enormous cross-section of some of the most classic characters from the X-Men roster, and not one that I hate. In fact, we had heard about previous scoops which X-Men lineups that they might look to do in the MCU. One real recently we had heard was the Chris Claremont X-Men, which I don't totally hate, but would have omitted some really classic members that we still haven't really seen in full force, like Jubilee on the big screen. Other iterations recently said that they would specifically leave Wolverine off the team in order to give a chance for other characters to shine, and what we speculated might be give everybody a break from Hugh Jackman's variant of the character before we get another MCU Wolverine. We had also heard real recently they were going to look to focus on the female characters, have them lead the X-Men, and so we supposed that would include characters like Jean Grey, Rogue, and Storm. But now hearing that it could resemble the same roster we just saw from X-Men 97 is exciting to me for two specific reasons. Number one, that lineup needs zero in the way of introduction, and I suspect that this isn't going to be some sort of let's start from the very beginning origin story and try to tell all these characters from the start. They don't need to do that. Everybody already knows, so it seems like they would just be dropping us right in the middle and in the mix. Also, what's exciting is that lineup is so perfect, and while I don't suspect them to have the number of different characters that we just saw in X-Men 97 all show up in the first X-Men movie, it's the core of the team that we remember and how it came together. And again, this doesn't need any introduction. You can basically just adapt them from the MCU and basically pick up running right from the start, especially if you pick a team that's familiar, like the X-Men roster we just saw from X-Men 97, and oh, it'll be so good to have a live-action Gambit back. I also want to make this distinction because I'm pretty sure someone's going to screw this up in reporting it. We're not getting the same exact characters from X-Men 97, now just in live action. We're getting the same roster, so it'll be variants of these characters, not the exact same ones from the show, just the same team lineup, to be specific. I just already know this is going to get misreported on Instagram. I'm going to open it up in about an hour to see X-Men 97 lineup coming to live action, and that's not what he's saying. Now, as I mentioned in the prologue, and to be fair, let us not get hung up on this and expect to absolutely 100% see the X-Men 97 team, even if that was the part of Michael Leslie's first pitch, and here's why. Number one, Ryan Reynolds had to pitch something like over 20 versions of the Deadpool movie before Kevin Feige gave him the green light, and I suppose that same thing is going to be happening with the pre-production on X-Men, especially after the hit that X-Men 97 was. They cannot afford to get this wrong, and as I also mentioned in the prologue, we're still 3 or 4 years away from when they would release this movie. There's a reason they're starting on it this early. They want to get it right. Also, there has not been a Marvel movie as of late that has simply had one writer from the beginning that's finished the whole project. In fact, more likely the case, they've had 3 or 4 writers, and as we just heard recently confirmed, Eric Pearson has basically been running around taking the scripts over the edge. He just did it with Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts, and he's now doing it with Blade. So I would also suspect that after a number of pitches and iterations of the script, they may have additional writers. And basically, this is a really long way of saying this movie is going to undergo so many changes in its pre-development stage, and this will be a while before we even start to hear casting for it as well. So while you may have a reaction to hearing this team, and I think there's a lot of us who are going to be excited, X-Men 97's the right roster or some core group of that, absolutely do that. Who knows what characters they may omit and for what reasons, what characters they may choose to include. Just suspect it's going to change quite a bit over the next 2 or 3 years. Still, this is all very, very promising because it means that Marvel Studios is paying attention, saw what a hit X-Men 97 was, and they're trying to take the ingredients that they put into that show and then cook them into the live action show. And I know there were a lot of you who said that they should hire the writer back in Bo Mayo and put him on the live action, but give Michael Leslie a chance. I haven't seen it, but from people I trust, I heard that most recent Hunger Games movie was way better than it needed to be. And from people I know that know his work, they are all super excited that he got the job and say he's the right man to do it. I'm sure that more details are going to come out about his affinity for comic books in relationship to that. But the right people are writing these X-Men stories. That's what we can rely on. And so again, the X-Men 97 roster, if that ends up being it, I think it's going to be the right move for Marvel Studios, especially knowing that this is going to sort of coexist in the shadow of what will be X-Men 97's probably 3rd season by the time this comes out. You guys let me know all your thoughts down below. If you had to handpick the 5 or 6 members for the first team, who do they need to include? I'm all ears, as always. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel, and when we get a couple of weeks out from Deadpool and Wolverine, we'll start giving away tickets to see that as well. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the other giveaways here at the channel, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced with my voice live on the end section of this video and the comment shown, so if you should get a spam comment on my channel or anywhere else on YouTube, make sure to report it directly to YouTube so that they can go ahead and delete that account. They've gotten really good about it. Not only will it delete the account for you, but the comment that you saw and everyone else everywhere else that's commented on YouTube will go away. So really, you're doing everybody a huge service. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. Find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at @mfires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.